You know what it is? It's Real 92.3, LA's new home for hip hop, standing up to racism and racial injustice in the black and brown communities. Your boy E-Rock is here. This is the Quarantine Conversation on the Basement.
Yes,
And man, it's good to have you on here. The one and only Big Sean
yes,
is on
sir.
Real
E-Rock, man.
right
Thanks
now.
for
How you
having me.
doing, man?
I'm doing great, bro. Thanks for having. How you feeling, man? I know LA is champions on champions right now.
You know what, man? And I hate to say this. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
So
hey, you
you've
know what
been.
though? I support every LA team though, man. But it's like I've
Yeah,
only been here for 4 years, so
I
it's kind of
see.
hard to adopt. Like for instance, I'm a diehard Dodge. I mean, I'm a diehard Giants fan. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And I'm
so
a
you're not
diehard
happy.
Warriors fan. I mean, but don't get me wrong, man. I love the fact that there's so much energy going around town, especially with what this city has gone through, losing Kobe and obviously
Oh, come on,
COVID. I mean, the energy is
Nipsey.
definitely different, but we needed that though. As a person that lives here, we
Hmm.
definitely needed that. So LA is definitely on the up and up right now.
Yeah, it's lit. And lost Nipsey too, so it's lit, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to see, and like I said, for Kobe and for everything else, man. But life has been good. It's been an adjustment, a big adjustment. It's taught me that nothing is promised.
Truth.
You can make all these plans, and God laughs at them. You feel me? And I did my best to make an album and to make music that I put in a lot of the stuff that I personally needed myself, a lot of the motivation, inspiration, and
Love
just
that.
honesty. You know what I mean? And bars and
It's what
uh
this world needs today, man.
yeah, yeah. So I know that's what I needed, and for the people who do need it and who heard it, that's who I made it for. So everything is great. And when it went number one, it was like just a nice cherry on top because to me, the second I released it and I saw the impact and what people were saying and how it was affecting certain people, like I felt like it had already went number one. And because people were saying that it wasn't gonna go number one, it was supposed to be,
They were wrong.
yeah, so it was great. That was great.
So I mean, you took your time with this album though. That's one thing that I do,
Hmm.
remember. Like, you definitely took your time on it. And
Hmm.
what were some of the factors that went into the process of making this album that enabled you to be like, all right, that's it. Let's get to it.
Well, I mean, E-Rock, man, I had to rediscover myself. I felt like I was feeling burnt out. I felt like my passion wasn't there. The music I was making before, like, what the album that I was trying to make music, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be because it just sounded like I wasn't progressing, and I felt like I hit a wall creatively, and I wasn't happy either. So I just had to take a step back and realize that I was burnt out, and I never really took time to take care of myself and to nurture
Very
myself.
important though.
Yeah, and to figure out what I like to do and what I love and what are my passions. I had to rediscover myself, and it was a process, and I still am in the process of it. It's something that I think we're going to be working on ourselves till we die, So, but when I did take some time to myself and I came back to the music, I came back with a much broader and wider perspective and a bigger bandwidth and talked about things that I compartmentalized, things that I put to the side, things that I probably would have been normally embarrassed to talk about, but realized that, okay, if my purpose is to inspire, which I think it is, then I may have to get uncomfortable. I may have to sacrifice my privacy a little bit in order for somebody to feel it and feel inspired and uplift them, So that was my whole mindset. And it took a little while longer than it usually takes, but it's all in divine timing.
For sure. I believe that music is a very, especially when you're putting out music, it's a very personal thing. Like everything needs to connect on all cylinders in order for you to like not only feel great about it, but just like, to be like, all right, I'm ready to share this with the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I feel the same. I feel the exact same.
So one of the things that I realized that you did on this album, obviously, it's called Detroit 2, man. You have a whole bunch of people from Detroit featured on this album. T Grizzly, Cash Dog, Cash Kid, M, Royce. Yo, what is something
42
about the
Doug.
Yeah, man. I mean, yo, like you putting it on for your city. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? And I love that. I love that. But what is something about the Detroit sound that you would want the world to know through that?
It was just, the reason I did it was just to show the authenticity of the city, the different sides, just to show where we coming from, because um I know a lot of cities probably feel like this, but Detroit is a city that can sometimes get slept on or overlooked. And I feel like we have a responsibility to that city because, they made Motown. Motown gave an identity to
Facts.
black people in music, and it was some of the greatest music ever made ever. And Detroit has always gone through so many ups and downs, and it's like it's a city that has a lot of depth and layers and soul to it. So it's like I feel like I got to represent. So that's why I go so hard for Detroit. And I wanted to have a lot of features on this album specifically because I wanted it to feel like I was bringing a festival to Detroit, and I wanted people
Mm.
to get a taste of where I was from, in my heart and the place that brought me up. So, it was important to, put a lot of, I didn't put everybody from Detroit on there, but I put a few people on there, and
Some good notables, man. Some real good
yeah, and
notables, bro.
yeah, I used to do a show called the Friday Night Cypher too every Friday after school when I was like 16 and 17. And I just wanted to bring the essence of that back where it was like 9 or 10 of us rapping on the radio over the instrumentals that were hot at the time. And because one of the things to make this album, I had to return back to my passion. Because when you do something for a certain amount of time, you lose that hunger and that passion for it.
Truth.
When I had to rediscover it, I was going back to the times where I felt most alive and most excited, and that was one of them when I was doing that Friday Night Cypher. So that's why it was important to bring it to life on the album.
Man, it's a beautiful thing, man. And you could definitely hear it, man. I mean, it's like, like I said, music is a very personal thing. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to really have it all. You got to have it connect like here,
Mhm.
more than anything. And I think you really did a good job at doing that, man.
Thank you.
Um, I'm sure that being indoors, like, during this whole entire thing is different. Having a successful album, like Detroit too, it must feel weird not to be able to tour it, like, and not be able to like, be with the fans. What are some ways that you're still able or that's enabling you to stay engaged with your fans?
I mean, definitely social media, it's just so much that comes along with social media, but that's definitely been a great way to stay engaged and just through the music too, through the merch, through the things, but it's nothing like that face-to-face experience or, you know, performing to a crowd and they give you energy back or the meet and greets or shaking people's hands and seeing people face to face,
We
it's nothing
feed
like
off of it.
yeah, I feed off of it, they feed off of it, and it's like an exchange of energy that just goes back and forth that something that you can't money can't buy, and you can't get across through a digital performance or through the internet all the time. So, I can't wait till it returns back and hopefully it comes back next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come back until 2022, really.
I mean, I think the priority is definitely to be safe, more than anything. So,
Yeah, for sure, for
as
sure.
long as we're prepared for that, I think that's like, the best case scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, what's one thing personally? Obviously, we would love to be out there doing shows. I would love, I would kill to be at a nightclub, like, right now connecting with like, my audience and whatnot. But what's something personally that you're gonna do when this is all over? Like, you know what? Wait, like, what's something that you say, like, hey, yo, you know what? I'm gonna do that when this is over. But it's something that's that you are craving as a person.
I definitely want to travel more. I definitely want to go to like Fiji. I
Mm,
want to go to like back to Hawaii. Hawaii is like one of my favorite places in the world. I really love the Big Island. That's one thing I really want to do. I definitely want to do a live. It's like I definitely miss touring.
yeah.
Gotta do that. And come back stronger than ever with that. And just have fun, man. Just get out and I'm somebody who I kind of always stayed in anyway. Like I was that guy who like I didn't go out that much and stuff. So I kind of took for granted like going out to eat. So I'm gonna definitely take advantage when things are for real open. I'm gonna go out to eat more. I'm gonna explore more and just like get out there.
I see you eat sushi now. So
Yeah, not really, but
Was that
yeah.
your first time or what? Like I seen that on the Instagram. I was like, wow. Like I love sushi, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first time like that. Yeah, I've tried to like taste it before, but yeah, it's crazy.
I dig it, man. I dig it. I mean,
Yeah.
but still, regardless if we're indoors, you still had a busy quarantine, man. You've been featured on a couple records, man.
Mhm,
You know, a Benny the Butcher record, a Freddie Gibbs record, to name a few. But one
mhm.
stood out to me. You know, you got to work with Nas on "Replace Me" featuring Don Toliver. How was that working with one of just, I mean, the goats? Like, you know,
Yeah,
I mean that if I got a call from a goat, I don't know how I would react to go, yo, I need you. But
yeah,
how was
man,
that?
bro. It was cool, man. I remember we were in the studio together, and Hit Boy played the beat, and it was funny because I left a meeting
Shout out
with
Hit Boy.
yeah, shout out Hit Boy. I left a meeting with Jay Z, and like I was 5 minutes down the street from the studio where Hit Boy works at, and I was like, "Yo, me and him had a session later that night, but I was super early, and he was like, well, I'm in here with Nas, but come through." Came through. Me and Nas was already cool, and Nas was like, "Yo, Hit Boy just played. Hit Boy just played the beat, and he was like, Yo, you got anything to this?" And sometimes verses come like on the spot. Sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, but I just did that one on the spot. Like,
Wow.
I remember Nas was like so impressed, and I'm like, bro, like I'm a master rapper like you, bro. Like,
Yo, I do this, bro.
like this is my job, bro. But no, I'm just kidding. But I'm not like him. Obviously, he's a goat, you know. So, but um, he did his on the spot too, and we just laid the song down. And Don Tolliver had already had the hook on there, so it worked out, bro. You could tell like when songs happen like that, when they just click, it's like meant to be. And Nas is crazy, man. He's incredible.
For sure, for sure. And
Mhm.
you had the BET performance last night,
Yeah,
killed it with
yeah.
Janae and Ty, like body language. Was that the first time that you guys had all got together and performed that in front of, an audience that big? You know, obviously there was probably nobody in the audience, but there was
Yeah, but I know
probably,
what you
well,
mean.
there were
Yeah.
millions of people watching, obviously. So,
Yeah, no, it was great, bro. It was fun, easy, and that was our first time performing that song, Body Language. It's one of my favorites, and
oh, I
that's
love that
another
record.
song. Yeah, thank you. That's another song. It is kind of like a continuation of Play No Games that I had with Chris and Ty before, but we sampled an old Detroit record called Soulful Moaning, where it was it's just a local song, but it was like part of my childhood. Like I heard it all the time and at my high school dances.
Oh, wow.
So the sample was very special to me. And when we talked to the people who made the original song, they were like, we made this song in a time where it was so much murder going on in the city and things were just so crazy that we wanted to just make something that people could love to and show how important it was to be with the one you love and to be passionate. So that was like, fast forward even to this just performance when we were thinking of the creative, I was like, I wanted to portray that. So it was like in
Wow.
our bedroom and we looking out the window and we seeing all this mass mayhem. So but at the same time, while that's so crazy out there, we're like so chill and like just loving each other. So it worked
Nah, for
out, man.
sure. For sure, man. And then Wolves is the next single, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
tell me about that I mean, tell me, are you excited? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, for sure. Wolves is, Posty is a great guy and we shot the video. It's almost ready. And we actually have another video for body language as well. We had
Oh,
like a
wow.
preview video. Yeah. So these videos are like on the way. We've been working on them. Sometimes they take a while because I like them to be extra. So I really try creatively to always have great visuals. But yeah, it's on the way, bro. Like I'm excited and I'm gonna keep the momentum going. It's a lot of more features coming up, a lot more just, everything. Man, I'm not taking a break yet. Definitely a little bit tired and I have to remember the lessons that I've learned of making sure you balance it. So
Nah, for sure. You know, I think one thing that I've learned, during this whole time was definitely investing into myself, not only from a professional standpoint, but from a mentally from a mental and a physical standpoint as well, and just taking care, better care of myself,
yeah, man.
and I have a regular schedule. I'm not out, obviously. There's nothing to do out here in LA right now, so I'm able to go to bed at 10 o'clock and then wake up at 6 a.m. and start running on a treadmill and then tackle my day, and
That's
just
amazing.
Yeah, you know, and just feel, you know, great. You know what I'm saying?
Good, man.
Um,
You deserve it, dog. You deserve it, man. And
I don't think I've ever taken a break in about a good, well, I've been in Vegas, you know, as a Vegas resident for about 14 years. And
mm,
I've probably missed maybe 7 Saturdays out of 14 years, which is crazy to
wow,
me.
wow.
So this break, you know, it was definitely needed. It was
Yeah,
definitely needed. And
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Blessing
excited
in
for it to come
disguise.
back, but we'll see, you know?
Yeah, blessing in disguise for sure.
Absolutely, man. And you know, before we're out, man, I actually wanted to share this moment with you, man. I don't think I've ever actually told anybody this, but
Mm,
2011ish, like, you know, I want to say Finally Famous was out that time, correct?
yep,
So
2011.
my last was actually a record that was very special to me.
Okay.
I had lost my father unexpectedly,
Wow.
and that record
Mm,
was a record that, you know, you said so much, like, you know, in those verses, and just like the tone of it, and just, you know,
mm,
it made me really, 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 like, you know, push forward and just constantly, like, you know, be like, you know what, man, like, I'm gonna live this day like it's my last. Like
yeah,
that was like my anthem for that whole entire period of time. So, you know
man.
what, man, as a fan, I want to tell you thank you for that.
Mm.
Um,
Yo,
but
man, that's an honor. Thank you, bro. And I can only imagine it. That song did, that song had a lot of heart in it, and No ID is a great producer, so yeah, he put that soul in there. So I'm glad you were able to connect with that.
I connected with it. Like, boy, man, like no, like it was no one's business. That was like, you know, I woke up to it every morning, man. If I had a hard time, if I had a hard day, that was like, you know, my anthem, like, you know, for a very long time. So, you know,
Yeah,
thank you for putting that out and that piece of work. But, you know, I
yeah,
guess what I'm alluding to pretty much is like, you know, obviously with what we're going through, man, there's a lot of people out there having a hard time. You know,
hmm
there's a lot of things going on in this world right now that's crazy. And you know, what's something that you could say to these people that are watching this interview right now that's going to let them know that things are going to be all right?
Well, what I can say is that if we're still here after all the people that we've lost, we're here for a reason, and that in this world, you got to realize that this life, it's just a mirror. So what you give is what you get right back. So if you live your life uh
Hmm.
doing things righteously, doing things out of love, doing things that make you happy, doing things, welcoming abundance and celebrating others, that energy is going to come back to you, and you're going to receive a lot of blessings, a lot of money, or whatever it is you're after, or your chance or your opportunities. And they may be not in the way you expected them. They may not be at the time you expected them. They may come later, they may come sooner, who knows? But if you live your life righteously and truly believe that, then it will happen for you, whatever it is, whatever it is. So, be generous. People are going through so many things. You have to learn to not be judgmental, because God is the only one who could judge us.
Truth.
To be supportive. So if it's something
Facts.
you like, get behind it and support. If it's something you don't like, you don't have to give it any of your attention, because when you give it your attention, you're not doing anything productive for them or for you, So live your life in a way of love and of care and happiness. And, it's going to come back to you, period.
I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Big Sean, thank you so much. I know you got a busy schedule and you got a day full of interviews. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you taking out the time and blessing us with this great energy, my brother.
man. Thank you, bro. Same to you. And God bless you. I'm going to see you soon, man. And keep
When this
rocking.
is over, man, we grabbing a meal, bro. All
Hey, let's go. Let's
right, man.
go.
It's
All
Real
right.
92.3, LA's new home for hip hop, the basement, quarantine conversation, E Rock, Big Sean, Lego.
E Rock, let's go, man. 92.3. Yes, sir.